So if you guys are new here, we're just getting started. I'm dual streaming on TikTok and YT at the same time. My name is Brenna. I'm a human design reader, astrologer, and psychic medium of 10 years, teaching you how to make practical understanding, or have a pie farm of practical understanding of the transits and just making it make more sense. I'm gonna light my candelabras to set the mood. If you guys want to drop your big three in astrology, or if you know your energy type in human design, you could do that in the comments below. And then in a few moments, I'm going to get started in reading for Blanca and her beautiful family, so that we can talk about optimizing career choices and all that fun stuff using your human design and astrology. So I have to get this. These are all, I got married and had a, hello, how are you, Strolling? Nice to see you. Welcome back. Happy holidays. Happy full moon in Gemini. I hope it's treating you well. Hi, Augusta. Welcome. But I had a, my husband and I eloped in September, and we had a post-elopement celebration in October, and these are all my leftover candles. So I got to double dip when I did my candle order and use it for my lives also, where the candelabras behind me. But I had said earlier that or on my Instagram stories, excuse me, that I would say happy new moon, but this new moon, it doesn't always feel the happiest, like at this time. So a lot of people, like if you're struggling, it's normal. Don't feel bad about struggling if that is kind of normal for you right now. Yeah, I hope so. I feel something brewing, just trying to be patient. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm so glad you said that, because we currently are having a sun transit in human design, specifically with these gates of Sagittarius, as well. You have Oreo on my lip, as well as our Mars in a couple weeks, or next week rather. That's going to be shifting into gate 5. Hi Ari, welcome. That is literally about waiting and feeling that like low and slow energy of being able to wait in some capacity, and like what do we do while we're in the frequency of expecting something. Hi KR, welcome. And so that's a lot easier said than done. When we're in the process of waiting and we feel something coming, and it's weird, like with every Sagittarius season, with the transits that we have, it's this energy of 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brakes. And what's funny is I think about like how we have like the hallmarkification of, you know, like this time of year, and so much being focused on Christmas, being focused on the gifts and things like that, rather than like family. And not that it can't be both, but like hi Jules, there is an emphasis on how much we can buy and what we buy for other people, and buying things and having money to buy. And what this time could be spent doing, based on the good use of these transits, is actually spending the time, or taking the time to invest back in ourselves. Hi Natural. Yes, good morning in your corner of the world. I know. Hello from the future. Hello from the past. But yeah, so if you feel like you're in that kind of like messy middle of like being, fatigued a little bit by analysis paralysis, the full moon literally just happened just over an hour ago. Like it's official, as super as a super moon was gonna get. And it's ruled by Mercury. So our Mercury is also ruling our south node, which is also causing a lot of nervousness. Analysis paralysis is also really big right now. So any of those things are completely normal if you are feeling them. So just a word to the wise, and being able to know that and anchor that in. But yeah, I am going to, Blanca, let me know if you're here, and I'm going to start the reading for your, hi Donovan, welcome, for your son, and then we'll pivot over to Nancy. And I'll actually just send over a little hi Ellington, how are you? Happy new moon, or full moon in Gemini. I keep saying Dr. Vernon, yes. I have to watch Bones. Maybe that would actually be a perfect show to watch for Capricorn season. But I don't know if you guys have seen if you guys have Netflix, the show now. Hi Gilbert. The show that is called The Beast in Me with Claire Danes. And there we go. Oh yeah, I love that. Is that like a comfort show for you? Hi Ova, welcome. But The Beast in Me is actually really good, so I highly recommend it. Hi Blanca, I see you here. Let me know when you're anchored in and ready to go, because we have some time. And then I'll send you the recording as well. Let me get my little notebook here. But yeah, The Beast in Me, highly recommend. Oh yeah, decorations. Oh, I love that. That's so sweet. Hi Joe, how are you? Hi Gilbert. Yeah, I know, it's so good. Hi Paz, welcome. Okay, let me pivot. Hello. Hi from Chile. Oh, it's nice to meet you. I am in the US, if you couldn't tell by my accent. And I'm from New Jersey, so a little far away. But I'm gonna pause for a moment just to pour into Blanca a little bit and read for her kids, who are, it was crazy because I was reading at the birth date for your daughter, and I'm writing in 2008. And you're like, and she's getting ready to go to college next year. And I was like, oh my God, like the mental math of time. And you probably feel that way even more so than me, of having a child that's like getting ready to go to college and was born in 2008. Like, how does that seem possible? In my mind, kids born in 2008 are still so young. But let's see, who are we starting with first? I believe it was your son. Yes, okay. And I know, right? It goes so fast. Like, the time is just crazy. Okay, so we are first for your son at 6 minutes and 16 seconds. And do you pronounce his name Giannis? Is that how you pronounce his name? I was on YouTube and junior college. Yes, I'm in already, exactly. Hi W, welcome. I'm big on the phonetic spelling. But okay, Giannis. Okay, beautiful. So you said, so you have it on recording. Trying again for my son's chart, I want an intuitive reading. He is currently a junior in college, and I just wanted to give him a reading for Christmas. That's sweet. He's very familiar with his chart, but I would love your point of view. And oh, Yanni, okay, perfect. I love that. There's a really good Greek restaurant that I'll have to figure out how to send you a link for up in North Jersey near like Wayne. Hi, Chelsea. Yeah, and pouring in. So intuitive reading. I mean, it's so interesting because even like, I pulled up his chart just so I had a visual indicator while, because I did read your question preemptively when I saw it come through this morning, and just kind of like looking and then like tapping back in, a lot of like very cerebral. Hi, beautiful. I hope you're doing well. And knowing that it's so funny because I feel like with his energy too, and I think that you can relate to this, is that like you're both extremely intelligent and can relate. And I think that there's probably a huge amount of frustration in his biological age not adding up to his like age in numerals and how old he is. And so probably a lot of people that are older than him, especially because of his gate 18, hi Julio, his gate 18 personality son, having trouble with authority. And I was already kind of picking up on that already. And it's funny because it doesn't feel to me as much like he actually has much, like, it's not you as his parents with authority. You know, every kid goes through that in some capacity, but more so like when he is going into a space, like people really see him as being able to see through the bullshit. And so when you have that and you're in an environment where like you have to kind of cosplay the, you know, and for you being in corporate, it's like it works if it flows with where you're going, so you don't feel like you have to go upstream. I think that also for his placements, I know he doesn't have a defined ego center, but also looking at ways to be a little bit more self-employed and independent, especially to your point of him being an old soul, is always going to be that sweet spot of having that appreciation for the fact that like him knowing his system really well, or knowing what he's talking about, or getting his thoughts together and having them be respected and appreciated is important. I also like am getting the visual of like him winning some sort of awards, and I almost want to say for like a robotics competition, if he does anything like that with like how I pictured like the robotics competition, like when people make those robots on wheels and like they fight each other. I don't know what what it's actually called, but like doing something in kind of like an like there's a school out in Princeton, near Princeton, that's like a boarding school, like kind of being in more of that realm or sphere of influence. Or if he even, STEM and NJIT, okay, I love that. Yes, that makes so much sense. So just allowing him to kind of like really be good at his craft. I like him in a high academic setting. Like there's people that are like actually at the level to be able to just understand how cerebral he truly is and can appreciate it. I also feel like him going down the academic track of like, even being a professor, or like being able to go on sabbatical or take time to do like research and getting a stipend for it, like staying in academia is a really nice structure if you wanted to even go back to or stay there after graduation to be an adjunct or a professor, if he really enjoys NJIT or staying within that realm. I love that. I feel like with your relationship, it's really special because like as he will get older, and even him watching this is probably like laughing as if because I'm talking to you as if like he's not here. Yeah, exactly. And I think a combination of both is perfect. I think what's helpful if he does both is that just when he gets sick of, I think that there's going to be part of being a professor that like his expectations, because of how easily this stuff comes to him, even though you have to work for it, like it actually is so easy for him that I think there's part of teaching that's actually going to frustrate him a little bit, and like he may not have as much patience to really like handle silly questions and it can come across as like, oh my god, like this professor hates me. But if he does it where it's varied, I think like not being locked into 24/7 professor can also be helpful. And what I love about like STEM or any type of the sciences or mathematics, is maybe not mathematics as much, but more so sciences, is that usually professors have that balance of like they are researchers first and then are professors. There's a saying like that those who can't do teach, and I think he can do so much and is so capable that like having the ability to know that like he can still keep his head in the game, and even if like he doesn't get the first bid for like a specific specific research project for a lab, it's to keep allowing himself to try, especially because New Jersey is really booming in terms of opportunities, especially in the sciences. Like even though it's a small pool, it's actually better because there are fewer people that are going to have his type of cerebral mental capability that are able to do that. So occult studies. I mean, he definitely could. You know how like Oxford has their astrology school? That is where I would place him. I think that he could if he was into it and wanted to. What I could see him doing even more so though is the study of like when you go into the layers of human design as a fellow reader, like the biochemical quantum mechanics aspect. I think that that's a severely under-researched, under-talked about, because even when I go, and I'm sure you experience this too, even when I go to research it myself, I'm like, oh, like I'm kind of having trouble finding what I need, you know, or being able to have it talked about in a more anchored in way. I know that you and I are both attracted to human design because of our appreciation for academia and the fact that it is like the gift that keeps on giving, where like for every time that we hit a threshold in learning something, exactly, like there's something else we can learn. The reason that one of the most popular human design apps is called the neutrino app is because neutrinos are a subatomic particle that our body, takes in from the sun. So it's basically when we're looking at your personality sun in human design, which is that top right hand corner, it's talking about how like we are stardust. So I love that because there is that overlap. I also feel like he would be the person that if he studied the occult sciences, like he would be able to take on Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you've seen because he's very vocal about like not believing in astrology whatsoever, but there was Ziggy, who's an astrologer that really blew up on this app this year, and I like a lot of her content, and she had posted not that long ago that she had to sign an NDA because she did speak with a famous, I don't think she said astronomer, but basically she was, her case allegedly, from what she said, was so good that they had her sign an NDA so she couldn't talk about the podcast that was supposed to be released with her butting heads with this person. And especially because Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think he lives in the city. He's at least very often like in the tri-state area. But all that to say, I could see your son being that person that would be able to be like at the level and like have a conversation in a way that like could do the service justice. But I think like what I also believe is that in our pursuit of Pluto and Aquarius, that there's actually going to be more of an, oh, hi Shush, welcome. The planetarium in NYC. Okay, yes, that makes sense. Yeah, my last memory of Neil deGrasse Tyson, because I actually used to work for a company called Make Music New York, because my background's in art history and music management while I graduated in that and then learned human design. was him doing something at the Liberty Science Center, Museum of Natural History. So I'm not up to date, but all that to say, I like that. I think it's just a matter of like, throughout our 20s, and especially like, yes, it's great if you can ground in something in your 20s, you are already at a healthy advantage for your 30s. However, 99%, or I would say 90% of the population, yes, that's awesome. 90% of the population, our 20s are what our teenage years are marketed as. And I wish I had somebody that actually anchored that in, where like our 20s and every year of our 20s really are a time to explore. And so helping ourselves to understand, like, this is the time to be able to say, like, okay, what's a job that I can take and like still kind of live out my recovering college student beginning of my 20s, but still remember that this is a time to really explore, like, where am I most comfortable. The biggest thing that I also wish that I could say to my 20-year-old self when I was a junior in college is to also know that, like, no matter whatever job you choose, you're always going to have people, self-employed or not. Don't go into self-employment if you're trying to get away from customer service, because it exists if you want to do a good job in every industry. But that for his consideration, to really understand, like, where are the places and spaces where you can tolerate the most amount of people and like what are the kind of archetypes of humans that you find most palatable, even when they're, you know, being difficult. And that's not to say that everyone's going to be difficult, but what I like about a research setting is that, you know, if you're in a lab and you maybe, you know, have somebody annoying that you have to work with, but from my understanding of the small piece of it that I know, there's more opportunity for a little bit more of like what his 4 line is gonna like, which is like a slow and steady wins the race to build trust. But I do see him anchoring in something for a long time. I don't feel like he's really gonna be bouncing around and being like too much of a, like, I want to be a musician and then I want to be, you know, an architect. I never feel like he's gonna be slumming it. Yeah, it's so true. I think everyone should have a restaurant job or a front desk customer service job, because if you think, just to get perspective, because like if you think that adults are smarter just because of their age, you will learn the hard way. But that's what it teaches us. But I'm excited for your son. I think, you know, there's nothing that I find, you know, I know he's familiar with his chart. It's the best thing I could say too. Like, if I go more out of the intuitive and more into the grounded, it's monetizing his intellectual property, writing a lot of papers, going to symposiums, presenting research, teaching if he has to, you know, as like a secondary, and like, yeah, if he grows into the occult sciences. But what I was going to say earlier is that if he's interested in it, he can be one of the people that really advocates for you know, grants or to get funded for research when it comes to like the occult sciences and actual science. And my belief is like, it's 2 more complex ways, how unique, to explain the same thing. So, you know, if he's open to it. But again, I feel like a lot of the beauty in, you know, you parenting 20-year-old children at this time, is that you have the opportunity to like be like on the new wave of parenting where you're guiding them, but like being a human design reader as well, you get to kind of tell them like how can I nurture who you are as an individual, not the human projection of who I think that you should be, which, you know, of course with our children is also going to be harder. But, you know, anytime he feels like he's getting discouraged, I absolutely know he's just being too hard on himself. And I can relate in some ways, but I think it's exceptionally true for him that like you can tell that like you just have such a deep support of your children that like that is something that as he gets older, I think, and as we go throughout our 20s, like he won't take for granted. So yeah, I love that. Yes, exactly. And I love that. Hi Chris, how are you? I'm just reading for Blanca's children. So I have her son up here, and then I'm going to read for her daughter Nancy. So yeah, I know that's like my projectors are my biggest group in Patreon, and I say that all the time because I have 2 out of my 3 channels are projected channels. So even though I'm a manifesting generator, there's a lot of my energy that is very projector. So it's like what I'm doing, time in the saddle, showing up, being present, making those connections, especially for him, even if he doesn't want to, that 4 line going and schmoozing once a month at the alumni association or whatever to be able to make himself known, already puts him at a 75% advantage. Then yeah, there you go. So we'll have a lot to talk about when we see each other in person, but it already puts us at a 75% advantage when we are willing to get out of our home environment and network in person. That's something I really wanted to take advantage of this year ahead, is going back to my alumni association too, and just like, I paid into it, you know, me paying my student loans paid into that. So I want to be able to do that. But anyway, so I can put a pin. Yes, Libra, exactly. I know, exactly. I feel like that's why it's like being a professor, if he likes it, super high intuitive bestie, super charismatic. I don't know if you know this, but this is something that's very helpful, especially if you, as a fellow reader, before you switch over to Nancy's chart, is that when you're looking at your human design body graph with the columns, the right-hand side and all of the gate placements, like I know because there's an 18 there, that gate 18 is a Libra placement within a 5-degree window. So on my YouTube channel, I have a gates and channels series, and I've been working through all the gates first. And at the beginning of them, the first like 3 to 5 minutes, I mentioned the 5-degree windows of each of the gate placements. So hi Trayvon, how are you? So anything on our right-hand side is a astrological placement that connects to our natal chart. So if you have a lot of clients that are already familiar, yeah, exactly, that's awesome. That I don't know if I didn't take a course that taught me that. I just researched as a 1-3 enough to be able to find it. But if they don't have one already, I'm glad you're able to take it, because it'll save you a lot of hours that I won't get back. But I'm glad. But all that to say, I'm gonna pivot over to beautiful Nancy here, who's at 2120. Oh no, but I was thinking about, I mean, I'm in a 9th house perfection year next year. So come March. But it's free right now on my YouTube channel. It's the playlist is the Gates and Channels playlist. So I'll email you it when I email you the recordings. So that way, like, if you just go through and have that, yeah, it's helpful because it's like, I wish that they had, because it's only in Colorado, and then I'm going to update the timestamp for Nancy here, but it's only the ones that I've seen are in Colorado, but I wish that there was an East Coast version of like updating ourselves with human design. Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know, maybe we'll create one together. We shall see. The year is young. It's not yet 2026. Okay, but let's see. As we pivot over to Nancy here. And then if anyone else would like a reading, I'm going to be on for about the next like 45 minutes or so. The link is in my bio, $8, 10 minutes, and I send you a copy of the recording. But for beautiful Nancy here. Let's see, just to anchor in. So this is my youngest, Nancy. She's a Virgo sun, Capricorn. Yeah, what's her Virgo sun gate placement? Get my cursor back. Oh, gate 59. Oh, I love that. Cap rising and her moon in Cancer. She's getting ready for college next year. Anything you see regarding possible career, and also her as an emotional generator. Thank you. Yes. So what I love about her placements is that, I mean, definitely perfectionistic. I feel like there may be some silent competition between her and your son and having that like balance, but very internally emotional. I think because like she does come from such like a beautifully like cerebral is just the word I feel like I can use to express your whole family. There is a balance of like, I could see her, especially as a Capricorn rising, actually pursuing more artistic ventures. Yeah, 1000%. I mean, any Virgo, yes. Allowing herself to really lean into, like, she is the higher, she's a networker for sure. I think she would be actually amazing if she wants to do like fashion, music, or something in the PR industry where she like, her tagline could be like, I make people look good. The Capricorn rising is also going to create a little bit of that stoicism where like no one really is going to know. She does have a lot of Virgo though. Virgo Mercury, Virgo Venus, gate 6, and then her sun. So that stellium alone is going to create like some like really having to be careful about choosing the people that she spends the most time with. Also as a 5-1, I always say, and this is something that I just picked up, it's not in any training other than just my personal time in the saddle with like my client base, is that anyone who has a 5 in their profile has an irrational fear. It feels irrational when you don't have a 5, I should say. It's very rational to a 5-line person, but it's like feeling like you're gonna get attacked, hi Zaria, for being who you are. Oh, for 4 years making and selling slime. Yes, I love that. I love that. Yeah, you will never have to worry about her being broke in any capacity. I feel that for all of your children. I think like if anything, you know, your son is like, I just have the TV and the chair just because like I don't need much else because I'm always at work anyway. Yeah, at 4 years old. Oh my God. I thought you said, yes. Oh my God, 4 years ago. That is so cute. That is very wholesome. I love that. But see, like nurturing that entrepreneurial spirit, I think it's a matter of like, okay, honestly, her and, hi Karen. Oh my God. That's so sweet. And we're paying her in That is adorable. I love that so much. Yeah, not letting her entrepreneurial spirit, the school has come. I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that. No, like keeping that momentum going. I feel like she could be on like a good Capricorn rising. And I probably, if we did the statistics, like they're the people that are probably most likely to be on like the Forbes 30 under 30 is that good Capricorn rising energy. But yeah, I mean, I love like just for her placements too, because she does like having some alone time is going to be important with that one line, her gate 40, gate of aloneness as her Saturn too, her Saturn in Virgo. It's like learning to be alone and that her feeling, I feel like maybe, I don't know if she communicates this with you, but like she's kind of like a slight anomaly. Like there's something about her that's a little bit different from the rest of you guys, and like having a little bit of that separateness, and that's good. What that's meant to teach her is to not get enmeshed. I love that, especially because Cancer moon in its detriment could kind of go either way. But it is that like healthy detachment that is going to be really good for her, especially with an undefined spleen. Gate 18 also has that authority. So where is this? Is this her? Her Mars is in Libra conjunct your son's sun. So that's an interesting, cool kind of combo there too. But yeah, I mean, anything that like if she just did general business, like I feel like whatever her senior project would be, especially being a 4-year-old entrepreneur. I love that. Hi Kim, welcome. I'm just reading for Blanca and then I'll answer some questions in the next like 5 minutes or so. Hi Erin, welcome. Oh, sorry, network. Erwin, nice to meet you. Yeah, like if she went to like FIT, like she has a disposition, like even though she would be nervous, she has the disposition to like really get going. I went to Fordham. I'm a Fordham alumni, and I stayed and lived at the Bronx campus for 2 years. I went to community college first. Yeah, 1,000%. I love that, and having that support. But Fordham would be a really good school for her, just saying. Now, I'm not biased at all. But it's a good blend of like, it's basically like if you don't get into your Ivy League, you go to Fordham, but like still is a really good school. Yeah, in its own right. And like just having the access between Lincoln Center. Oh yeah, okay, yes, I love that. Also amazing. But yeah, I mean, I love that like, so Jupiter is on her ascendant. So yeah, a lot of, I think just like her trope probably throughout her 20s slightly will be having to make sure that like other female friendships, like I think it's going to be hard for her because like a lot of women her age are not really going to be able to be, I'm so open. I just got on like a half hour ago. Are not going to be at the level. So like her finding like not telling people too much of her plans too early. Her emotional wave with her 59-6 is like not letting her emotions consume her, and that her physical, especially as a Virgo, what she eats is going to be directly tied to where she is emotionally. So if there's any foods or drinking or indulging, you know, anything of that sort, you know, when she's of age, doesn't do well with her system, it like needs to be like, we have to put the kibosh on that for sure, to not get in too much mucked up in her internal world. And what's good about like, I mean, kids going away to school now is there is like more of a it's not weird as much as it used to be, or it's not like socially awkward for her to do that. So yeah, I love that. What's her digestion? Open digestion. I love that. Yeah, so being able to explore. I honestly think also any study abroad opportunity that she could take advantage of, she should. And meditation also being very, very helpful for her. You know, if she wanted to, she also could go into a spiritual, especially as a Capricorn rising. Capricorn risings usually have indented temples and like sharper bone structure. They age like fine wine, and some things take a little bit longer for them. But like really teaching her, if you haven't already, like how to, whenever you get money in, to invest it back into something, even if it's a high yield savings account, being a good entrepreneur that she is also going to be really helpful for her. I think that it just feels like I can't help but feel pulled to like beautification of any capacity. It doesn't mean that she like will necessarily be in the beauty industry in like the normal sense, but I could see like her wanting the beauty industry and then her cultivating something that like your son could help do like the research portion on, which would be cute. It would be sweet to do that together. But yeah, I'm just like kind of marinating in your question again with her emotions too. I think it's just, she's already able to hermit herself while she is emotionally a little bit raw. I'm not as, yeah, absolutely. A little bit is like, I'll kind of just zoom in on like a little, like, where do I intuitively feel called? And especially with the Cancer moon though. And then when you have Jupiter on your ascendant, it actually presents like a Capricorn rising. What is a challenge is when you have your moon or your sun opposite your ascendant as a Capricorn. So her Cancer moon, Cancer is opposite of Capricorn. It will, how she perceives herself is not the same way that people perceive her in relationships. So she's going to be like in her mind, and she is this, but like more closely to her because she's in her body 24/7 is like, it's a business and I understand that, but like that water in her is like people more seeing her as like mommy a little bit, and like knowing that like her cutoff game though will be strong when she feels taken advantage of. Hi Kat. When she feels taken advantage of, it's like, oh, I'm gone. And so I also have that too. I can relate in a lot of ways where it's like, ooh, too needy. I'm not exactly there. I'm an Aquarius rising, so also having a Saturn ruled chart. We have that. Oh, thank you, Kat. So yeah, I would just say though, like really nurturing any type of like her creativity, like keeping the business going. I think that like networking, especially as a 5/1, like she's going to be more interested in talking about other people and pulling out the data. It's like really listening to like what people's true needs are, not what she thinks that they want. So yeah, that's amazing. I know a lot of people are not as good as you with doing that, so the rest of the world struggles to set them instead. But yeah, so being able to just kind of like ground in that, absolutely. I think like allowing herself to just, like you said, it's like there's nothing that, especially because you know the information, nothing that like you're not already going to be prepared for. And for both of her emotional waves, like she has two, the 59-6 and the 39-55. Those are in like the first or second section of the definitive book of human design. Just being on top of them, reminding her to teach her that like when she says yes to something and commits to something, it's much harder for her to pivot and leave it. If not physically, it may be easier than it is emotionally. So to just like allow herself to feel her feelings and like still to, attend to them, but like having a healthy amount of compartmentalization, which I'm not worried about you having already done. But yeah, beautification, like I love that like she saw a need and she filled it as any true entrepreneur would. And being able to do that, and yeah, I think there's so much of a lot of what college can and should be used for is the connections that you make along the way. Not to say that you can't network and have those opportunities. Sounds good, Chris. Yes, you can't have those opportunities without college, but like it definitely adds another level of people who value education in that way. So I don't think college will go away. I am cautiously optimistic that we'll see college be free, or become free, or at least like heavily discounted from what it was in our lifetime, but we shall see. The Pluto and Aquarius will continue to surprise us. And if anything, this full moon in Gemini teaches us tonight in gate 35, the gate of change, is that the only thing consistent in life is change. So to be able to go with that. But yeah, I think like knowing that like we all often save this vocabulary for people with addictive tendencies, I'll say. Like you can't help somebody that doesn't want to get help. And the same applies no matter what industry, even if you're not dealing with somebody that is struggling with addiction in any capacity. So yeah. Oh no, you're sweet. Yes, absolutely. I know. I look forward to it. I think coming into Botanica Boutique will be perfect because there is at least a place that I know for a fact I have more time in between folks to be able to chat. And it's a really cute center of town if you haven't been to Orange. That's by Seton Hall, or South Orange. So it's another college town. And I'm probably going to be in Princeton in the not so distant future too. So I will let you know when that happens. But yeah, thank you. I'm so glad the internet connected us and that we happen to be close to each other, which is so fun. Hi, Chelsea. Yeah, so bridging gates, bridging gates in what capacity? Like the ones that help us like through electromagnetic channels? The bridging gates, I should say, I think if I'm understanding your question correctly, are like what create, if I have, let's say like the 1-8 channel, I have the full channel, but let's just for the sake of argument say I have gate 1 and you have gate 8. We work together to create a flow of the energy of that channel together. That's called an electromagnetic channel. Melancholic gates are gates that hold the frequency of melancholic energy. So gate 60, gate 3, I don't remember all of them off the top of my head because I haven't spent too much time reading them in that lens. If you do go to the Neutrino app or if you do look in the definitive book of Human Design, they'll tell you. I can research and also get back to you what gates they are, but I do know for a fact that like my gate 60s, my gate 3s deal with more, they're in the lower chakras. They deal with more of that like heavy and sadness. Yes, exactly. It's like what bridges the gap between making a connection and electromagnetic channels. Yeah. So it's helpful to know, like, to distinguish difference. And sometimes, like, are you stuck in melancholy with somebody else too, is also important to pay attention to. Zaria, thank you. I'm yapping away. Let me just pull up Zaria's chart, and I'll still answer some questions in between. Or maybe we're going to do intuitive. I know you're usually my intuitive girly too. Yeah, okay, growth and transformation. Okay, so we are at the 35-minute mark on a gate 35, new moon in Gemini, which I love. And 58 seconds. So it's so interesting. Like, I feel like for you too, Zaria, there is such rapid growth and transformation happening for you. But I will say, and this is because of the transits now, like if it feels like, oh, I was going so well. Yeah, exactly. In this connection, right? And like going forward in this direction, there is a period of stagnation. Hi, John. That we're feeling for the next like 2 weeks. That comes from our Sagittarius. What was the degrees here? I just wrote them down. The Sagittarius degrees between 11 and 17 degrees of a gate 5 transit. Our sun and our Mars are going in that direction. So what happens is that it's known as the gate of waiting. And what is important to remember whenever we go through this type of transit is that, and Kat, I see you too. I'm just running 2 minutes over, and then I'll pivot to you at 2 minutes after. So just so you're aware. But don't let temporary delays or stagnation make you think that nothing is happening. I feel like that's a really big lesson right now, and that like the growth and transformation. Thank you, beautiful. The growth and transformation, it's always happening. And so in these moments, like for example, I've been feeling a little bit of that with the holiday season, and I have a flow, and I'm like, but wait a second. I know that there's some things that I know I want to do to hit the ground running come 2026. So how can I get ahead, hi goddess, and start filming my videos for the rest of December? Because I know what's going to happen is that in 2 weeks, next weekend, a week Saturday, my in-laws are going to be here. Hello. My in-laws are going to be here. That will delay me. So what are like some micro things that even though like, yeah, I could do them in 3 days, I could do them in the future, what are some things that you can do now? I will say getting back to basics, especially, hi Kevin, when it comes down to like moving your body, stretching for 5 minutes. My husband and I just did a workout. I like needed to get down. I've definitely been fighting, I will say in full transparency, a lot of heaviness and seasonal depression, it getting darker out earlier. Like I really am affected by it this winter. I think I always am, but it's like a trauma response to ignore the fact, like, it's like I have these moments to like really pull myself together, and that's what's very helpful. And so like even for me, it's like I always say I'm not immune to the transits either, and that just feels important for me to say to you as well, where it's like those moments of like plateaus or pauses are not like a hard stop and nothing's gonna happen. I think that, and I know that with this full moon in Gemini too, it's about the fact that like, even though change isn't happening, how can we appreciate when we can like, actually, let me take a pause and just be appreciative for like what I actually have around me and what I've done up until this point. And how the version of me that I am right now is also like, didn't know this version of me was possible at 5 years old, at 15, at 25, you know, so on and so forth as we go through our ages, and really being able to just ground and feeling like that is like they're just expressing the gratitude, and the gratitude does come before being able to reap the rewards of abundance. They will also help you to assess truly looking back at the themes of your life, like what are, how do I word this? Like what are your, I just lost it. It flew away. What I keep being pulled towards instead, like kind of if I'm energetically yanked in this other direction, is like really having to assess the people around you that you go and ground with. So allowing yourself to lean forward in that direction is important. Who are the people that you're, like the company that you're keeping? I'm not so much worried about friends. I think anyone that like is creating an offer, like make sure you're reading that contract and that you're not afraid to ask for what you want. Like people who give you a contract sometimes hope, like it's not necessarily, a contract is a living document until it's signed and agreed upon, and then there can be an addendum moving forward. But if you're reading a contract or anything, like it's kind of like, ooh, it's getting serious, like in a good way, but making sure that like if there's any part of you that feels like a little sick or like I don't like that part, that's a sign. I think that it just is going to depend on, and this is where like there's some parts of us as a part of the human design experiment that can feel that little and then it actually, it's not. So I'll give you an example, right? Like for the way that I do it in my own life, that I can explain it in a way that's like feeling that like I don't really want to do that, but like I know it's going to be helpful in the eyes of like how we have to use a system in our current society that wasn't, our current society was not only like it didn't include the perfected use of our human design 100% of the time. And so I'm an introvert. I don't enjoy long periods and copious amounts of extroverted time. I have to be very aware of like choosing my spots wisely. So that's why I was saying to Blanco, she was asking me if I was doing events in person for December. I'm like, no, your girl needs a break because I know my in-laws are coming. I have other things that are going to be happening. We host New Year's that are just going to be like more days of my time that I'm preparing for, and things that are like an energetic pull throughout the month, you know, with work as well, that like I know that I'm not going to do any in-person events for November or October. No, either end of October or in November. I can't remember what weekend it was. I did an event in person, and I was like, oh, like this is their first year doing this. I know there's going to be some like awkward kinks, and it's going to be a little annoying, but I also know that it's important because I do want to make connections like in my local area because I moved. So like just making more feet on the ground connections in Pennsylvania versus New Jersey. And even though there was a little bit of a pull to say like, no, I don't really like that, but like I know that this is an invitation that I got that I will accept because like it's still going to be beneficial in some capacity either way, I like push past it. Now, of course, like day of, it's raining, I'm luteal, like, you know, I like didn't really feel like they didn't have the table set up properly. Like there were just things that like, that's why I usually don't do first year events when somebody's doing something for a first year, like ask me the second or third time, or like you've worked out of the kinks, because I used to be in events management. I don't really have the patience for like that level of dysfunction because I just was a part of it for so long that I got tired. And so when those moments or that feeling comes up, really assessing like how much of a value discrepancy is it. Now, if I got asked to go to a let's say like a Presbyterian church, and they were asking me to stand up there with a priest, and I was going to be converted, you know, to the other side or something like that. I'm like, yeah, that's uncomfortable. And I also like don't want to be known as the girl who like fought a priest or argued with a priest to get converted from spirituality. So it's like seeing that discrepancy of that difference and like what that kind of changes is also going to be helpful for you, Zaria, just as I like in the last few minutes that we have together, just to our minute and 30 seconds, just to kind of ground in understanding, not depends on what you want to know, Juan, but just understanding that like having that groundedness and understanding like what it is that you truly value. And when we come up against any part of or any moments of friction, what is it that we're uncomfortable with in some way, shape, or form? And so sometimes we have to go through trial and errors of experiences for that growth and transformation to be able to say, like, what is it that we truly need to do that's going to be like a stretch. I always say like drinking the green juice and like starting to run, you know, after you haven't run for a while doesn't feel good, but we know at our core that those things are actually good for us. So taking that into your next era of growth, of transformation, of whatever it is that you're looking to manifest in that way is also going to be really helpful. So I will leave you with that for this moment as I pivot over into beautiful Kat. I think that I may not have any more spots available, but let me open up until 9. It's currently, to go back, I didn't want to lose my channeling, just so you guys know, like if I don't answer necessarily, it's because I am channeling and I don't want to break the flow of what I'm doing. So just when you're coming in, if I'm not answering something right away. So the date and time in EST is December 4th, 8:21 Eastern Standard Time. But I don't have any spots open for Friday. So if there are spots open for Friday, it's today. But let me just do that really quickly. And then in 1 minute, I will pivot over to Kat here. Okay, so if you refresh, I should have spots available now too. I just updated it. And let me bring up Kat's chart, and Zaria, I will send you, you're welcome, beautiful. I will send you the recording so that you have it. Let me bring up your chart here. Happy almost birthday. I'm writing in Sagittarius instead of December. Ooh, I love this. Okay. I already know why you asked your question the way that you asked it. It's not a bad thing, but I understand. So your question, let me see the minute marker. 4640 for Kat here. I understand it well because I have similar aspects too. It's our quirk factor. But what's an important energetic strategy I should follow to align my relationships, purpose, and personal growth? So the first thing that I immediately went to, I'm a 1-3 also, so we do need a lot of alone time, which I'll get to in a second, but so that you can see what I'm looking at, is your undefined throat. So this is where we have the word vomit, especially because if you're damn, why do I always feel like I can't get my vocabulary? Yeah, no, you did. No, I love that. But I'm having the most important energetic strategy is to, and I know this is hard because you're a New York City girly, and through you're taught to hustle and grind, especially because you have a Capricorn Mercury. The biggest tagline that, if you take nothing else away, I want to give this to you because I've been saying this a lot. It was part of my mantra going into 2026 is that, thank you, but I only accept apologies in cash. So when people try you can use that instead. So my gift from me to you, your early birthday gift for this holiday season, I only accept apologies in cash. And what can happen because you have an undefined throat is learning how to communicate in a way that actually allows people to nurture your feminine, especially because at your core, you are a Cancer moon. So it's having people nourish you, especially Scorpio Venus, you are very, once you commit to something, you're it's almost, I also want to say fuck around and find out. People have to, Aunt Desmond, thank you so much. People have to understand that you really do commit to people. And so also having that Libra Mars is also going to create an energy of once I'm cold, I'm done. Yeah. Listen, I have 5 planets in Scorpio, including my moon and Jupiter. I know it very well. I'm having to overcome the trauma of getting emotionally cheated on in my romantic relationship before, and now I'm married to a wonderful Pisces moon man. But that was, he experienced the brunt of that for the first 6 months to a year of us dating and us working through that together. So yes, I do. The waters go deep, especially for your placements. And then you also have your Jupiter in gate 11 in Sagittarius, which basically is a fancy way to say that the overthinking and analysis paralysis can be very real. When you also have this gate, actually is a Gemini gate placement, and gate 35 in your throat chakra or throat center is the gate of change. that's what can make you provocative, and it has like that trickster energy. So if you know somebody's trying to play you, or if you know that you're done, you actually know exactly what to say to create this kind of like storyline to make somebody else do the dirty work of like having to break up with you or like giving you the raise. Like it's like actually very helpful when it comes to like manipulation of energy and using it for, you know, use your powers how you wish to use them. But also I don't think it's a bad thing to be like have that trait as like somebody who's, you know, in New York in that way. Exactly. And so, you know, when we're thinking of that, or when you have that, the goal, hi Omar, welcome, is to not feel like you have to use that always like off the rip. Like, you know that you have it in you, but it's like allowing yourself to really pivot into leaning back in more of that divine feminine way, especially because you have gate 46. It's like definitely very like femme fatale. Like I see a lot of like, I have one of my friends, my closest friends who's a Libra, has that Libra gate placement, and she was a sugar baby as for a while. So now she's a stenographer, but like as she was in school, like being a sugar baby was her jam. So it's also there. But you know, is that finding out, is that the direction that you want to go in life, in your relationships, or like a reason in a season? There's the opportunity. So I will do with that information what you will. But what that also entails is your body really keeping score. So if your energy never lies, in the sense that if you're intuitively, yes, exactly, yes, like if you feel that someone or something is off, or like you start to feel like you're getting a lot of stomach aches or stomach pains, like I wouldn't be surprised if you're the person, like me too, who like had a lot of those intuitive gut instincts. So I was like always like whatever the maximum amount of absences that I could have in school, I always took, because I was like, I don't feel like being with people today. The reason I say that we're similar is because you, like me, have a 1-3 profile in human design. And this is where we need a lot of alone time. We need a lot of private time, introspection. If we're thinking about something, even if it's like it's getting, the best way I can describe it, and I'm gonna flip my camera because that's all like all the parts that I needed to like show for now to just like continue on with your reading. But it's this energy of like needing a lot of time to get into the headspace of our manifestations. So when we're manifesting something, especially, hi Nathi, especially as anyone who has a lot of Jupiter placements or is ruled by Jupiter, or even your Cancer moon, we need to be allowed to like think about like the way, if we have a date at night, right? We need to think about like, what are we going to wear, and how are we going to enter the building, and what does the vibe of the restaurant look like? And it's like we're summoning the atmosphere into the morning of, or the night before, to like summon it closer. And we do the same thing when we manifest in the future, what you want to manifest for the new year. But a lot of it, like when you're saying like, just to kind of put an like an actual bullet point. Yes, exactly. No, I know. Because it's that tracking. We do not like to feel, like I word it, like we don't like to feel like we're caught with our pants down. We don't like to feel we're like Tony Soprano seat. I don't like to feel like my like I'm unfamiliar. I'm like, unless I like, if we're public speaking, for example, I could go, and if someone said like, oh, Brenda, like, you know about human design, like we didn't plan this, but go talk about it in front of 5,000 people. I could do it because I've been reading charts for 10 years. If somebody put me up on stage and asked me to talk about how to make candles, and I've only done it once, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Exactly. And so especially with your Scorpio Venus, it's like, I don't like to feel like I'm hit on, hi Plutonian Princess, how are you, gorgeous? It's nice to see you back in the atmosphere, at least on this plane, and this ethereal, weird internet plane. I'm just reading for Kat the last few minutes with her here, and then I see somebody else book too, so I'll take a peek in a second. But yeah, Kat, it's like knowing that, really leaning into a little bit more of your feminine essence, like how can you allow yourself to be pulled forward or pulled in a little bit of a better way is also helpful. I see Sandy booked for 8 o'clock. Sandy, let me know if you wanted me to read for you tonight, or if you wanted to come back next Thursday, because I did see that you booked for next week, this time, or 8 o'clock, the 11th. So just to say, oh, okay, yes, or you're Sandy. Okay, your government, now I know your government name. Don't worry, we'll have time for you to go next. No one booked for 8:30, so that'll be perfect. Bye, Blanca, see you later. But, you know, when it comes down to having a strategy, again, full disclosure, closing my eyes, locking in to give you this message, don't let people make you feel like asking too many questions is a bad thing. It's who you are. The people who know you and love you in all types of your relationships will know that like you need to run through things through a fine-tooth comb, because those questions are important to know, like, can I or should I commit my energy to this person, this project, this business venture? And then similar to what I said to Zaria right before your reading here, is that like if there's any part of you that feels uncomfortable, really assessing like what part of it is it that makes you uncomfortable. And if you don't know, even though you're a sacral authority like me, wait a little bit of time just to kind of wait for that gut instinct to create a light and an aha moment in your logical brain to say like, oh, that was what I was picking up on. Oh, you were acting weird and needy towards me because you're having problems with your wife, or like whatever the case is, like, kind of coming up and giving yourself time to make the gut instinct match the mind. Yeah, exactly. Like you really have that, like, it's like Devon Aoki, baddie, like femme fatale energy where like you're just like can sit back and really kind of like be like the siren that lets men come to you, like that kind of energy, or partners in general. Like it can be business partners, romantic partners. Allow them to kind of come to you a little bit more and invite you to share. Like you not saying anything. Yes, exactly. Yes, I understand. I had to put that to words for myself also, so I understood it. In a way that made sense to my brain, having similar placements too. So, for you, like really being aware of the company that you keep, it really is a pleasure and a privilege to be in your presence. And when you don't forget that and just kind of like exist. My in-laws don't really speak. They speak English and they understand it, but the language barrier was there. And for me, they didn't really know how to take me right away because they couldn't, like, even in our silence, there's a lot of power there. And so having that, it's like knowing that like people can be intimidated because we're very stoic. And even though we're like, once we start talking, they're like, oh, she's like a normal person. There is like a helpful kind of barrier to entry. So yeah, likewise, yes. I'm going to send you this recording so you can listen to it as a beautiful little like self-love playlist as many times as you want. It's going to come from a YouTube link. You'll see it in the Calendly email. I'll respond to that email. And that way you have it. It may go to spam because we haven't like fully connected in that way before, but that way you have it. So I will leave you with that as I pivot over to beautiful Sandy. Here, let me go. But I'm excited for you. This is 42 is a good year, and it's like a lot of like really anchoring in like what you're calling in and how you want to teach people to treat you in 2026. So important for that. Absolutely important for that. It's when you go through your Uranus opposition. So it's like any chaos like that has been created, especially if you know anyone that's around your age that's gone through any kind of like separation or like different jobs or anything along those lines. Oops. That's why we see that. Okay, Sandy goddess. Reflector. Okay. Yeah, like thought to I love how your brain and mouth work so effortlessly. Thank you. That sounded weird, but it's the truth. No, I'm screenshotting that. I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have Mercury on my ascendant retrograde, so like I don't read in a linear way, if that makes sense. It's kind of funny, but the people that get it. So I'm thankful that you're here. Hi, Farah, welcome. So for beautiful Sandy, so we are at the 58-minute mark here and 32 seconds. So more career stuff, 38 next year, and I have no idea on what I'm meant to do, where I should be, etc. I start projects but don't follow through. My husband is always in that provider mindset, has no problem with it, but I do. I understand that 100%. Anything else you may need? Yeah, so with health too. So also for you, the body keeps score. I always say for any reflector, and I'm going to show you my chart because you're part of one of the good 1% of the population here that has no definition. as a reflector, I always say, like, what chronic illness do you have? There's always something. Every single reflector, because you're looking at a mirror. It's like looking into a pool of water and you're reflecting back on an unhealed world that isn't really doing so hot right now. You also have a Virgo moon. Yeah, there you go, type 1 diabetic, yes. You also have a Virgo moon. So it's like the pH, like Virgo is also about like the pH of like who or what enters your body. So it's like that, the levels of the pH of your body, acidity, that kind of energy is reflected back whenever I see somebody that has a Virgo moon, because it creates a lot of that nervousness as well. What's interesting about this, and I'm going to read to you from the Book of Destinies here. I'll show you so that, because from 38 to 42, from Jupiter energy to your Uranus opposition, you go through grounding in your incarnation cross in human design. And so for you, it's the reigning cross of tension. I'm going to read to you a couple people who have this incarnation cross. Eric Clapton, Al Gore, Ewan McGregor, Vincent van Gogh, Nora Jones, and Piers Morgan. I mean, Piers Morgan, like, argues with people for a living on, or did. I don't know if he does in some capacity, but, like, on the news. And then everyone else is either a politician, an artist of some capacity, an artists, musicians, actors, which makes sense because if they're celebrities, we're going to see them in the public eye. But being an Aries sun, and most of my reflectors have big 3 Aries placements. I think every one that I have read for as Aries in their big 3, it's like you're a baby soul. And the best way I can describe the energy to you that you have is that you are a spiritual being that has to remember that, like, your physical body on the earthbound plane is just as important as, like, nurturing your spirituality. It's like having to remember how to human in the weirdest way. Even though we all learn that, it's like for generators and manifesting generators, humaning comes a little bit more naturally. Aries energy is always going to make you impatient. I hate to say it, but it's like part of that not being able to wait and see things through is that you don't give it time. Because when you come from more of like a spiritual plane, time is a construct that we've created here on the earthbound side. And I have gate 28 in human design, which connects to your gate 38. It's your for a lot of us who have Neptune and Uranus and in Capricorn. It's your Capricorn Neptune. For me, it's like I need to tell you the rules of the plane so that you know how to use them. When you have a gate 38, it's like that natural disposition to fight and to argue, but it's like, does every person who have an opinion that is annoying deserve your energy of arguing with them? You can be like, yeah, why wouldn't I? If you have that fight in you, right? But it's really about like, how can I fight for the things that are truly worth my energy? And that doesn't mean arguing with people per se, but when I fight for my right to stick with something to gain a little bit more traction, I know that whether I like it or not, and it does fight my impatience, it is the rules that are statistically true for all of us on Earth in this way. So I'm going to put a pin in that for now, just to read to you from the Book of Destinies about your incarnation cross. And I just want you to think about the red threads that run through what I'm about to read to you, some of the things that you can use this towards in your life, and where these are bigger themes that can be applied to yourself, to your career, in this essence, to your career. So your purpose is to provide tension so that life around you stays in tune. Just as the strings of a musical instrument cannot create the right sound if they are not kept at the right tension, neither can the essential things in life grow and be maintained without the necessary controls. Whether or not anyone agrees with you, you recognize where others are out of tune with their lives because of their conditioning. That's influence from other people. Hello, Mentus. And it is natural for you to confront and even provoke them to change their ways. You constantly challenge people in ways that make them uncomfortable because you touch on areas of their lives in which they lack clarity. It is important that you hold no personal grudges or judgments, otherwise you can easily lose the love and support of those you cherish, which is very hard. That's easier said than done. You have a tendency toward melancholy, and when you recognize and honor this, it can be a gateway to exploring your inner depths. Vincent van Gogh, Ewan McGregor, Nora Jones, moody music. Deep within you can be found levels of creativity that, when consciously expressed, can alleviate the potential depression that comes with melancholy. Deliberately allowing your creative juices to flow directs you towards the things that you love and can bring you a profound sense of achievement and fulfillment. Meditation, massage, and physical exercise can relieve feeling too wound up, but consciously releasing any sense of always needing to be right and in control will soothe you best. If you can be content to be in control in those aspects of your life that were within your grasp, like where you live, what you eat, how you behave, what you wear, and what you do, as well as your ongoing attitude about life, this will help you to find your internal balance within the constraints of the world. You have an inbuilt urge to want to take control of situations. Over time, you might become a natural leader who becomes the matriarch or patriarch of a community or family. Ding, 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 helpful for your work. Seeking to take charge of everyone's lives. However, if you attempt to dominate others in well-meaning but ultimately controlling ways, sooner or later this will be rejected. Yet inherent in this controlling tendency is your ability to know whom else might be responsible and qualified enough to take charge in life's challenging situations. When you're unable to take control in a situation, you probably have attempted to assert yourself without consideration of your own energy type and authority. You will find that people are happy to have you help them stay aligned with what is important to them when you are clear in your own commitments. So it's so funny because I feel like for this, this is so like dominatrix energy. Obviously you're in a married way, although all marriages have their own set of rules, but like it's that kind of like where people like you to be mean mom or mean like goddess in that way. Like how do you allow yourself to dominate? That domination or creating dominance isn't a bad thing, but it's what area do you want to assert your dominance because it's worth it and you want to be seen as an expert in whatever field. Now, whatever you are interested in pursuing, in a good way, when you do it and market it and know what you're offering and create a first good offer, whether it's selling a product or offering a service, that strength in your energy, especially reflecting back to people like what it is that you see that they need. You know, maybe it's creating an ability to take care of people through like deep spiritual transformation, or being a death doula, or counseling people through grief. Maybe you get a mental health certification instead of feeling like you have to go back to school for the next 4 years if you don't want to. It's like carrying people where they know that they're coming to you because you have something that you can safely guide them as a mentor. It's okay for people in your presence to feel that there is a hierarchy there and that there is a barrier to entry, or that if they're going to work with you, they have to come correct in some way. Especially like for me, when I do mentorship with people, I make everyone fill out this application because those questions specifically let me know where people's mindset is at and how much of the weight they are assuming that like they're going to learn through osmosis. Like people think that if they pay you for something, that in them paying you, and you giving them the tools, that they are automatically going to create that destiny for themselves without having to walk through the motions of whatever it is that you've laid out for them. So whatever that looks like for you, it's like whatever you feel like you have the most strong opinions about for how people should operate in a better way is going to be important. And that could be many different things in life, but it's wherever you feel like what are you constantly talking about to your husband that you wish people did differently? Do you feel, and it's grief. Yeah, I love that. It's so funny. Like, hi Katie, talking about being a death doula, or like, so like it's like what I picture, the visual I actually get is the scene in like Midsummer, the movie where like I forget her name, Florence Pugh, where like the women are like lamenting and screaming with her as a form of like collective grief and like processing that grief with her. And I think that there's like also like doing a little bit of that in a way where people don't necessarily have to be perceived. Like, you know, a lot of that is more helpful, especially when the grief happens immediately. Like in a dark room in person, you know, if you look at a local salt cave and you do like, I don't know if like how big of a thing that is, it's big here, but like a Himalayan salt cave to help people, hi Yuri, to help people detox, right? Like you could do like a $70 45-minute rage room type session where you're helping purge out and people to, I say like for, Scorpio also is very similar to Aries, which people don't expect because the traditional ruler of Scorpio is Mars. The ruler of Aries is Mars. And so it's a lot of that scorpionic energy where it's like, how do you allow yourself to feel that heaviness? And it's knowing truly to save your health as well, what is the actual amount that you need to get paid to make holding that grief worth it? and what is that, like, how many sessions can you do to be able to keep that secure. And what's nice is that, like, because like you don't have a pew to your head figuring out how you're going to make money doing this tomorrow, you are in a really good position. And just because not everyone's husband is a provider doesn't mean that you have to feel guilty about having the ability to have such a beautiful experience and family dynamic where you're allowed to explore that option, and how less sessions is actually more because you have the ability to be in a dual income household where the pool is shared, and it helps you to feel a sense of empowerment to just know that you've got you at the end of the day. I'm very similar in that way, where I like to, my Venus is conjunct my sun in the second house, so I value earning my own income. I don't have to work either if I didn't want to, but like I find and take pride in my work, and there's a part of it that's like I need to exercise feeling like I've lived this life leaving no stone left unturned, and allowing myself to explore that, and feeling it's a confidence boost, and like just knowing that like I came here to, I mean, my role as a wife and a mother is also so important to me, but my life path also includes something else. And I think, you know, it's a lot of I'd be curious to see just statistically how many women that are in a position like you also go into being able to hold the container for people and heavier life experiences in that way. And so being in a position where, like, because you are supported in a lot of ways that a lot of women aren't and are struggling and spewing it out in other areas, you can help them to overcome or work with that grief in some way. It's so funny that this is coming up because I just saw on my For You page that there was an opening to be a director, or like a director of admissions for a grief camp that is in New Jersey. So it's a little bit far from your corner of the world. It would be a lengthy commute, but for children who have lost somebody, it's like an 18 and under camp to be like a grief counselor, or admissions for, hi Kim, for a grief counselor to help. So they go away for like, or go to camp for like 4 to 6 weeks or so. And then they meet other children, who have lost parents or friends, or you know, had some kind of trauma young. And because, like, you know, as kids in a classroom, they're 11 years old, like, you go think back to elementary school or wherever you were going to school at 11 years old, and if you went through some sort of traumatic grief, like, you look to the left of you and to the right of you, and you feel a little bit like the odd one out because there's nowhere to talk about it. And a lot of what helps with grief is just processing and having somebody that can be, which as a beautiful reflector you are, a true neutral third party that is like being able to alchemize whatever these kids are going through. So that is a perfect and like energy, or a perfect discipline or industry for you to go into and be able to really sit with that. I was seriously considering doing that also, because I was like, I just like the idea of like, in a true manifesting generator fashion, like I can keep my human design business going, but like also just wanting to like animals and children hold a special place in my heart because they're like the most vulnerable and treated like an inconvenience, frankly, in a lot of ways in our society. And so, but for me, it was like 8 to 5 and like and 2 hours away, so it was not sustainable. But I think, you know, that probably came across my path so that I could gift it to you in a way to just kind of look into those industries and see. And you didn't. I think there were some of them will ask for like a master's in mental health counseling in any capacity, but like if you don't always have to do that if you're not an actual like counselor. Like if you can find ways to like be a counselor, and I think that arguably like the school of life really is the best teacher, and people know within your frequency, like when you've been through shit, or like as a reflector, they know that they're safe and their sovereign energy, and you walking them through that experience. So I highly recommend that. Yeah. And listen, now would be a perfect time. I think that this is it's a little bit different, like, because right now our school system is getting a massive overhaul in the US. I'm sure you see it in whatever variation of the news or TikTok that comes across your page. But like, if you can, and look at those different opportunities, like explore that offering and see if there's any kind of way for you to be able to ground in that. I think that what I'm noticing is that there's a lot of, hi journaling buddy, welcome. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just finishing up with Sandy Goddess here. Oh, no planets in Aries today. In Gemini though, the moon is in Gemini. Yeah, no Aries right now. But Sandy, yeah, just to look into that and see like what is it that you have to do to get what you need to do to like play the game in the system and apply and get into the industry. And it could be like something like that grief camp for kids, that like you have the capacity to have good emotional conversation, which will come across in an interview. And maybe you can do that without having to like get a master's degree. Like you're still a counselor, but it's kind of like a workaround to get into that place. So just another tip to kind of like work the system in a good way, because again, School of Life is the ultimate teacher, and being able to just like knowing that you have the capacity is also really important. So I'm excited for you. You have a lot of like dark femme, like I can sit with you and cry and scream and like nothing really scares you energy, which is a really like nice, like it could take a lot to freak you out. You remind me a lot of my client that I'm meeting with tomorrow, and she has a lot of Aries in her chart as well, and it's that kind of energy where it's like people know like not to fuck with you, which is a nice like you're kind because like you choose to be, not because you have to be, and that's also holds like a frequency of power that shouldn't be lost on you either. So I will leave you with that. As I have any other last minute questions, I'll be on till 9, which is another 9 minutes from now. It's still Thursday in my corner of the world, so happy Friday to you, goddess. And yeah, if there's any other questions that you gotta let me know. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. Let me know how it manifests for you over the next 4 years. But yeah, your journaling buddy, you're welcome. Do you do any kind of like live journaling with people, or like do you do it reminds me of like journaling buddy, like junk journaling. I love junk journaling, which is basically like you take like receipts and stuff and like put them on like paper. Like I for my bachelorette, I have like the key card and like the receipts and stuff from where I ate, and I'll do that kind of stuff too. But this is such a good, like if you did, if you like astrology, your journaling buddy, and did anything like that, like every full moon, I do a full moon circle. But I saw someone today that was going live and was doing like a full moon manifestation journaling on live. If you're able to, when you're able to go live, if you're able to go live, but yeah. Yeah, goddess. I mean, so this is so funny, but one of my tarot card readers, Amy, I met her in New Jersey at a random intuitive fair, and she had a beautiful blonde wig on, which I didn't know when I met her, but she told me after that she wears it, which is a nice form of veiling. And she actually met, she has like quiet confidence, and you remind me a lot of each other, like you would gravitate towards each other in person. And she was like, your last name is so specific. Like Keely is like, are you related to my cousin? And she mentioned my cousin, and they were actually in AA together. And so some of the people, oh yeah, no, Leo MC, because like, you know, you're so loyal that you know what it's like for people to in the back, you know? So it's like that loyalty though takes time, and like learning to have the stage on your own is important. You know, as a Leo MC, and listen, I have 5 planets in Scorpio in my 10th house, so conjunct my MC, because that's your MC is your 10th house. But it's a lot of like, it's funny because I'm sitting down and in person, like you can kind of feel some of that, but like or online some of that, but in person even more so. Like you kind of just watch, goddess, like how people respond to you, and that can create its own sort of like, if people know what they're getting into, and even so, like on Zoom, you could do faceless. You don't have to. I think people who are going through grief also would appreciate like not being on camera and like snot crying, like screaming into a pillow. Like, yeah, maybe I don't want to be perceived, but I can hear that. Like I can be there with you and walk you through something in that way. But yeah, there are plenty of content creators on this app that have even millions of followers, and all you see is their hands, and they're doing tarot card readings, or they're pulling slime, or doing something along those lines. So it doesn't always have to be your face. It's just being creative about knowing like, okay, instead of me pushing past being seen, it's that the people that do see me have a level of trust that they've built up with me over time. And so now that I have that, right? Hi, Daniel, welcome. Thank you. Now that I have that, like, I know that my predisposition is to not want to be perceived. And that's again, I'm an introvert. Like, I'm here 2 days a week. I'm with Patreon maybe 1 day a week, if that, twice a month. Yeah, on screen. Other than that, I don't want to be perceived. And then in readings, of course, but like I am like less is more. It allows me to also channel a little bit better when I'm not being perceived. Like when we were doing our, I did a half-hour manifestation with the full moon today. And for the second half of the half hour we together, we journaled together, and I put up journal prompts, and I shut my camera off because I was like, to feel like that stimulation of being perceived, it's like I needed to preserve that for tonight. Hi Jackie, welcome. So yeah, know that that's not something that you have to feel like you have to shy away from, but it's telling you like your nervous system regulation is like needing to not have that perception. And so allowing that ability to kind of like create your marketing in a way that you don't have to be perceived is helpful. But also a lot of reflectors do work with kids or animals too for that reason, because it's the purity of the connection that you value too. It's like you don't have to mask, because like most children are not masking, and most animals too. Depends on who they were raised by. Animals and children. Like every day, especially when I feel like, because I will say that what I do now for work too, there's some weeks where throughout the last like 4.5 years of me doing this professionally that it kind of can feel like a thankless job sometimes. And, you know, depending, I'm thankful now that like I really do have a group of people that are vocal in their appreciation, but like when you see so much heaviness in the world, it can feel really depressing. And so like that's when I always go back to like I keep carrots and apples in my fridge, and whenever I see the deer go by in my front yard, feeding them, you know, whenever I see my niece or any children that like I have a moment to just like be present with, grounding with them, and those types of things can help just kind of like do a little bit of a energetic reset, you know, and having that. So hi Mister, welcome. Here, the eyes in the mouth emoji are so funny next to your flag. But yeah, I know, that's so funny because you have a slew of different types of animals in your neck of the woods. But yeah, deer, I love deer. I love what they represent. There's that one buck that walks through here because I'm actually in Upper Appalachia, which is kangaroo, exactly. That's the equivalent. The deer that'll fight you. Well, and I also think it's so interesting, like as like I'm Irish mostly and Russian by ancestry, and a lot of like Irish people ended up getting banished to Australia. So a lot of us share like the same kind of like fighting Irish DNA, and it's funny how like, you know, that fighting energy even is represented in the animals, or how like certain animals, like you can just tell that they're American by the way that they look. And I feel like deer can be a lot of those animals too. It's like so bizarre, but like we have a look to us, and I don't know, you know, it's a funny classification to think of. But all that to say, I'm gonna head off for the night. It was nice to chat with you guys. Blanca, thank you. Zaria, Kat, and Sandy. It was such a pleasure to read for all of you. Check your spam just in case. I'm gonna send you now the link to the recording so you can watch it back again and again. I'm excited for all of you. We're in a good place for the year ahead, or the full moon, to kind of end in this way and being able to ground. So I'll say goodbye to my TikTok family. I'm going to answer Plutonian Princess's question, Priestess, excuse me, in a moment, but I will see you later, TikTok. Have a beautiful rest of your night. I will be on potentially on Saturday, so I'll catch you then. But yeah, Plutonian, I'm sorry I had the, it's so funny, the little glitch that's happening right now. It's like the beep boop alien codes. But yeah, were you saying you have 10th house Scorpio? I do. So I have my moon, my Jupiter, my North Node, my Pluto, and my MC, all in the 10th house in Scorpio. So as an Aquarius rising. So it's interesting to see like how that plays out on the world stage. But yeah, so, you know, being able to ground in that energy and honestly, like, I'm aware of the depth of that power. And so with my Pisces, it's like, if I didn't have that Pisces to balance me out in my natal chart, like, and I say it was all Aries, I feel like it could be so ruthless in so many ways. But you know, for me, it creates definitely a lot of like, when you have your moon in the 10th house, it's also very Cancer rising. So having that placement there. Oh, your sun, yes. So it kind of feels like no matter your sun remind me of your sun placement again, but it's going to give you Leo energy. Whereas like having because it's the highest, most visible aspect of your chart. So when we're looking at the 10th house or the MC, I'll stop sharing there so that goes away. When you have that, when you have that, and it's constant churn, it's like, I know that like people, especially with luminary placements, like with your sun and your your moon. It's funny, I was gonna say, oh, Scorpio sun, yes. It's like, especially for your placements too, a cycle time of like people, when they don't get what they want from you and they realize that they can't manipulate you into doing what they want you to do, they do everything they can to turn against you. But what's helpful is that with your placements and having like Scorpio, it being Scorpio, is that people know that like, it's like, it reminds me of like, you may tell a joke but never a lie. And so even if people try to create a lot of that slander, it doesn't really last for long. So that if that's any consolation, I hope, in some capacity that it is, because like I being on the receiving end of that, like it's not always a fun place to be. But I know now, for I have a Saturn ruled chart as an Aquarius rising, and so having that longevity and understanding like who are the people that I know are going to go far actually tend to be the people who are willing to also go through their own metamorphoses and change, or also have a lot of Scorpio placements as well. So it makes sense that like you and I connect too, because there's like such a resonance in like our sun moon conjunction. I also have that with my husband. I'm a Pisces sun, he's a Pisces moon, and it being for you and I, our Scorpio, and again, our most visible aspects of our chart. So it's like, what's nice about it too, especially with your sun there, is that knowing that your magnetism, people think that whatever you're doing, let's say, I'm going to say, like, say you're doing astrology readings, they think that you are interesting because of astrology, but astrology is just one thing that you do, but it's actually you that is the secret sauce that make it alluring, that make it scorpionic, that make it seductive, that make it like that, like luxurious, like thick, healthy energy. It's like that kind of depth that shouldn't be lost on knowing that those placements are there. And again, it goes full circle to like, once people realize that like, oh, no matter what Lauren does, she's magnetic, and then they kind of like fall off because they realize they can't steal something from you for free is also good to know. But it's just knowing that that exists, but knowing that there are truly people who do want to support you. And I feel that too. Like I have 846 subscribers on my YouTube now. It's 846 people that like I know that have all come from, most people I know actually from building relationships over on TikTok that want to support me in another application, or had found me through YouTube, and actually like the genuine support is important to me. And so that, again, Saturn ruled energy of my chart, it's more so of that like slower sustainability and growth, where like you're not an empire that's built sustainably. Taking the long road is one that is less exposed to failure. It's like the faster you climb is the farther faster you'll fall. It's that kind of energy, especially with those placements too. So knowing that like anything that you're building is going to have better legs and better longevity, even if it takes you a long time to get there. So oh yeah, you're sweet. I should still have it in the show notes. It is in my last YouTube video. It's streamlabs.com/Brenna's here. I don't know if I can link it, but that's sweet of you to say. Thank you. Let me see if I can. Oops, hold on, chat. I'm using a streaming software called Streamlabs, so that's where you'll find it. But yeah, streamlabs.com/Brenna's here is the link to it. But it is linked in the show notes of my last video that I posted about Gate 5 too. So I have that there. But that's good to know, because it should actually have been here. That's not what I wanted. Oops. Let's see if I... Hopefully I don't mess it up. I'm gonna stop clicking things around. Wait, hold on. Editor. If it's gonna double. Oh, it's trying to have me edit my what it'll look like. You guys probably can't see it, but yeah. So yeah, I'll make sure I'll look at it for next time to see if it gets messed up at all. But I also too have an app called Pop Call that's also in the show notes, and I made it because it's like a texting platform, and you can download it. You can get it through like a URL, but it's popcall/Brenna's here, also on my Instagram, if you guys follow me over there. And it's a way that I can respond to any of your questions. Thank you. I can respond to any of your questions for $1 as well. So if you have like a 3 a.m. thought, or there's like something that like just requires like a quick question or us going back and forth, you know, for $4 versus like having to sit through like a $75 30-minute call with me, that's also an option. So it makes it like as a more affordable way for you guys to get the answers that you need for any questions that you may have, to also help with that. So just know that that's also an option. But let me know if you guys have any more questions before I hop off here. And let me see. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. I'm going to end my stream now. And I will be back at some point on Saturday afternoon. I haven't decided what time, but probably like 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 or 2:30, somewhere around then. So I hope you have a beautiful rest of your night, Lauren. It was nice to see you.